All right, good morning and welcome. I appreciate everyone coming out. We want to just give you an update. I know we had an overwhelming amount of questions and folks trying to seek more details about the arrest of Ronald Exantus. It's been in national news, I know, and even up to the White House looking into this case. So we want to just give you a few updates here real quickly. This week, Wednesday night, we received information that he may have moved to Florida, and that was a concern to us and more specifically to Marion County. Our intelligence unit began immediately investigating this, looking into it, and learned that yes, in fact, he was living here. And after further check and looking into his case, we realized that he had failed to do one thing, and that was register here as a felon. In Florida, they have 48 hours to register as a felon, and he had failed to do that. Beyond that, a more shocking and disturbing point of this was that he had set up residence immediately next to an elementary school. When I say immediately next to it, there is a fence between his house and the elementary school, and that was it. So for us, it was a priority, and our intelligence unit and the teams out there jumped right on this and began surveilling the house, waiting to see what was going on. We put detectives between that school and his house to make sure nothing bad happened, and we're not taking any chances. He was located and arrested. He didn't seem to understand why he was being arrested, but they arrested him and put him in the Marion County Jail. This, for us, we believe is going to be also a violation of his probation. And our hope here is that he is sent right back to Kentucky, where he came from, and as a violation of his probation, and taken off of our streets. This case, we've seen just an overwhelming amount of messages and notes from folks in support of this, that were glad to hear this. Parents here locally that were just shocked to find out that their child was going to school right next to where this guy felt like he was going to set up his homestead. So, and even folks from Kentucky that have been reaching out to us overnight, family of the victim, Logan Tipton, that was killed by this man, they reached out to us in appreciation. So it is of a national concern, and for us, our hope is maybe we shoulder just a little bit of that burden that the Tipton family shoulders every single day in thinking of this. And I can't imagine the horror and the sadness that ripped through that family when they realized this man was being released early, a 20-year sentence, and he didn't even serve half of that just to be released. It just reignited a nightmare for them, I'm sure. And so our part here is hoping that we can just shoulder some of that burden, put him back behind bars where he belongs. And the outrage that we've seen from this nationally, I think stems from a few things. It stems from the seemingly loss of common sense in a judicial system in some places to turn somebody like this back out into the public. It's also a willful disregard of the will and the desire of we the people. I know I can speak for we the people here in Florida do not want this type of person out on our streets, around our children. And I think I can speak for the we the people in Kentucky when I say they don't want that either, just from what we've heard and what we've seen from them. So our hope is that this person is back behind bars, stays behind bars, and that in the end, common sense rules out, the will of the people rules out, and he does not get to see the light of day, not in this state and even in Kentucky. At this point, I'll take some questions about his arrest, anything we can help answer.
So in the arrest report it says that he did check in with corrections in Marion County, but was the issue that he had to do that and also check in with the sheriff's office?
That's correct. So he was told by the Department of Corrections, they're given a form. It's printed out in whatever language you speak, and he is given that and was told you have 48 hours to register at the Marion County Sheriff's Office. And we have felons that come here and register every single day of the week. So they know that, they're told this. He just willfully flaunted that. And I don't know why he chose to do that. Honestly, I don't know why he chose Florida. To come to Florida after doing something like that, you want to ask him, have you met Florida? Do you know us? Do you know our sheriff or our governor or our attorney general here? Zero tolerance for that type of behavior, and you're not going to flaunt the law and fail to register here.
And as far as living next to the school, I mean, we know there's laws about sex offenders living that close to schools. Is there a law that would prevent him from, a convicted felon, from living that close to a school?
So not necessarily. Convicted felon may be allowed to live there unless there's some stipulation in their parole probation that prohibits that. Unfortunately, that's allowed. But when we learned that, for us, that's why I say immediately we had, between those children and that house, there were some warriors standing ready.
Was there any connection between, the house? Did he know someone there, or was someone that he had close to him in the area, or really don't know?
We believe he had family there, and that's where he was staying. It doesn't, I don't know, to take away any of the shock factor from that, but just happen to have family right next to him. And I say right next to a middle school. When you look at it on a map, it's pretty shocking.
What information exactly did you guys receive that led to the start of the investigation, if you can tell us?
So for us, this person is was high importance. He's being released. This is national news, and many of you, like myself, I watched, I think Tuesday, the family interview with the family, and just heartbreaking to hear a father have to talk about this. And when we learned he was coming from Florida potentially through intelligence channels, we were curious. All of Florida was on alert, and why he chose Marion County, I don't know. Maybe because he has family here, but for us, yes, we sprung right into action and took quick action. And once he failed to register, we worked closely with our state attorney, Bill Gladson, his team. They were able to obtain a warrant for his arrest and put him in handcuffs quickly.
Have you been in contact with, I don't know what body would be in Kentucky, but the law enforcement there about him actually going back there?
Yes, so the probation board there is aware that he has been arrested here, and those conversations will happen about him potentially being extradited back to Kentucky. Violating the law here and failing to register is a misdemeanor offense, but the violation of probation offense is out of Kentucky, so he could potentially be being moved back to Kentucky to face those charges.
Him living near schools, is it known if it was on purpose? Was he planning on doing something, possibly?
We'd like to think he was not planning on doing something, but I'm sure that's what that probation board in Kentucky thought, that he's fine. He's only served part of his sentence. We'll turn him loose back in the public because maybe he's not a child murderer anymore. But for us, like I said, we the people, we don't believe that, and we don't want to tolerate that. There's consequences to actions, and unfortunately he was not facing those, in our opinion, and I think in the national opinion. So we don't know that can't say that he was planning to do something. We weren't going to allow him the opportunity to plan something.
Do we know that living close to a school is a violation of his term of his probation?
From what we can tell, that his probation did not specifically prohibit him from being next to a school or children, and in our opinion, that's unfortunate as well. If you have murdered a child, why would you be allowed to be around children again the rest of your life? But not our decision.
There's no timeline for when or if he might be sent back to Kentucky right now?
No timeline, and if he is extradited back, we would not announce when that is happening just for security reasons, but that's a very real possibility and something that we here in Florida, again, I'm speaking for we the people, we want to happen. We don't want him here.
Is it known for how long he was living in Marion County?
Just a few days, from what we can tell, but more than 48 hours, and his opportunity to come register came and went, and so that's when we got with our state attorney, Bill Gladson, got those warrants and picked him up.
From what I understand, it's fairly rare to arrest someone for that particular charge as far as not registering within 48 hours. I mean, was part of that because you guys felt you needed to get him out, even if it's a rarely used law?
For us, this does happen. That law, if you fail to register as a sex offender, fail to register as a convicted felon, yes, we have specific teams that this is all they deal with. We have a sex offender unit, we have a violent crimes unit, and yeah, if you fail to register, we are going to come get you no matter what the case. This case, however, was even more high profile. There's more of a microscope, more of a national microscope on this gentleman, and I use that term loosely with gentlemen, but we were looking at him very, very closely, and when he violated, yes, we're on that. We're going to get him behind bars. All right, any other questions? Yes.
So I feel like it's not uncommon for people to get released early. Why do you think this case is having such an eye with national level news?
Well, I think the reason this reached national level because it offended all of us in the common sense region of our brains to say, why would somebody be allowed to, very violently murder a child? I don't want to talk about the details of that murder. It's sickening. But when somebody does something that violent, that vile, that evil, why would they be allowed back? We have a hard time as voters, as citizens, as human beings, understanding that there's consequences to actions, and I get he was released from my understanding on good behavior. Well, I think the overwhelming evil behavior that he exhibited in killing this child and trying to kill others in the same home outweighs any good behavior he could do in the next 400 years. So for us, it's hard to understand. We know prisoners do get released early, and I do believe that people can commit a crime and change their life, turn their life around. I wouldn't remove that capability from anybody. Lives have been changed. So but there are always existing consequences. And in this case, these consequences should be upheld. And unfortunately, they were not, and that's why everyone was upset.
Can you talk about the importance when it comes to public safety of, registering and also sex offenders and things like that, the importance of doing that?
So it is important that felons register, and sex offenders, and we publish this information. It's out there publicly. Florida is wide open. We want you to know where the bad guys are at, and the offenders are living, because most of us in this room, a lot of us, are parents ourselves, and I want to know who's around my children and where I'm safe, where I may not be safe. And so for us, yes, it's part of the law, but beyond just being the law, it is another factor where the citizens, all of us, we just want to live in peace. And how do we do that safely is knowing where our felons are at. And so when they fail to register, when they want to flaunt the law, there's got to be consequences. They have to go back in and face those consequences. So for us, yes, extremely, extremely important.
Did he say that he thought he had complied? As in, because like he checked in with Marion, or with the corrections department in Marion County, but not with the sheriff's office. Did he say that he thought he had followed it?
He was surprised when our detectives came upon him and arrested him. He was standing in his garage out in his driveway, and when we spotted him, and I think his first words were he didn't know why he was being arrested. But whether he knew that or not, it's hard for me to believe, because they are given this. I don't know how all the other 100 felons before him understood that and came here and registered, and he's the 101st one did not understand this. So that argument is invalid for us, and for him, we're not. There's no leniency when it comes to that.
Because Marion County, because this is having such a wide scope on this, is Marion County receiving any pressure from the governor or any other national person on this case?
So we've received no pressure from the state of Florida, the government at all. We've received a lot of help from James Ethmeyer's office, from the governor's office, and statewide prosecution. So it's again, it's a team effort in Florida. Why this guy chose Florida? Because most criminals know that Florida does not play, and we're not here to tolerate. So no, we've received nothing but support on that end, and I think the overwhelming, again, emails, messages, everything we've received has just backed up the corrective action that we did, and have appreciated that. All right. Well, I appreciate you all coming out, and any further questions. We will have some video to release later from some body cam video of his arrest. That should be ready here fairly soon, and we'll get that out to each of your respective stations. All right, thank you.